the strength to say, go ahead, keep it 100. If you have something to say to me, then say it to my face. I don't care what you say. Do those statements sound familiar to you? They definitely sound familiar to me. Do people really want you to keep it 100? Do you they really want you to say it to their face at any time or any moment? Do they really not care about what you say? In all of those situations, the person receiving those directives have to determine if they have the strength to do what is being directed. So I got the directive to keep it 100. When you get that type of directive, the permission to keep it 100, you need to pause before you respond. There are several ways this can turn out. It could be positive, neutral, or negative. Which responses are you prepared for? The assessment of what the topic entails, the state of mind the person is in, and where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually determines the percentage level that can be given. I have found when people are aggressively asking for you to keep it 100, they are ready for a battle and will not listen to what you have to say in that moment. 100 of what is on your mind about someone during a negative interaction does not turn out well for either party. Even in positive interactions, I am cautious of keeping it 100 because most do not have the capacity to receive 100, nor is 100 really needed. By the way, who determines what is 100? The receiver or the giver? How would either party know if 100 is actually being given before we actually have the conversation? What exactly are you going to do with 100% of what is on my mind? Are you planning to be constructive, destructive, or do nothing at all? Wow, I didn't think that exploring keeping it 100 was going to yield so many more questions. Those will have to be explored at another time. If you have something to say, then say it to my face. That is a wonderful thought to have, yet, most times, when that statement is made, it is made from a defensive position. It is due to a negative interaction. Although I enjoy a great debate, there are times when someone wants me to say it to their face. I have to provide a cooling down period, as I would appreciate that as well. I don't want and I cannot receive everything being said to my face if I am not ready to receive. If I am in a deflective mode, it will not matter what you say to my face, as I will ignore what you said until I have returned to a position or posture of receiving. What is a posture of receiving? For me, it is when I have stopped creating the narrative in my head of what you might say. It is me removing the previous thoughts of the situation and being willing to listen without being defensive, deflective, and disregarding your attempt to say what you need to say to my face. I don't care what you say. Yet another defensive and deflective statement. I was the queen of I don't care what you say, which was a lie to myself and to whomever I was saying it to. If I truly did not care, then why would I feel the need to give a declaration? I do care what people say because it can have an impact on me. It can have an impact on our interactions going forward. I care what is said because I believe that words have power. I then need to determine if those words will have power, long lasting, or if they're short term. And also, what am I going to do with the words that you said? I've also grown to realize saying I don't care and continuing to talk about what was said does not fool anyone, not even myself. Each of those three opening statements are defensive. They are not normally expressed when there is a pleasant interaction going on. Understanding the dynamic of these phrases and when they are used has helped me to look at what is being said during the conversation. What buttons were pushed? Were the buttons pushed intentionally or unintentionally? Should we even continue with this conversation right now? As described in the questions, I have learned to explore my role in prompting those defensive statements. I know I don't always have the most exciting news to share with people, especially when it comes to something that is contrary to what they want to hear, as they had already made up in their minds on what the answer was going to be. This exploration of these opening statements leads us back to the title, The Strength to Say. The strength to say comes down to this for me: the strength to speak the truth in love, keeping it as 100 as I can without causing malice. I don't know how the receiver will receive what is given, yet I can adjust my delivery so that it can be digestible. When I am saying what needs to be said to your face, it will be when there is at least an appearance that you are going to hear some of what I'm going to say to you. When communicating with you, my goal is not to hit any of those do not care buttons or triggers, as the information I am sharing is due to me coming and caring enough about you that I am risking to have this conversation. That this conversation will be a step in resolving whatever issue we are facing. I hope this episode was helpful for you, as it definitely was helpful for me. I will work on how defensive and deflective I can be when I feel like I'm being attacked. I can ask for us to resume this conversation at a different time when I'm able to hear clearly what is being said, as not to discount what is being presented. Reminding myself it takes strength from the deliverer to deliver what may seem to be a tough message, and to provide them with the opportunity to have the strength to say what they need to say.